So almost all sports have an opportunity for you to try it first. So the Kenora Nordic and Biathlon Club, now that we've built this 9-lane range, next year is going to be offering programming so that people can come and try biathlon. This afternoon, we've got a group of young athletes out, including a couple people who just started biathlon last year, who we're helping to grow into the program. So most sports, you can find a come and try event, and that's a good opportunity for you to be able to dabble at the sport. And in biathlon, we run a developmental race program, so even at our high-end races, you can be a first-time athlete, and we look after you on the range. All you need to do is ski your loops and make it back to the mat, and we'll help you successfully hit targets. So we want people to try the sport. We're willing to coach and help people to gain the skills that they need. So the Kenora Nordic Trails Association, our prior name, had a ski racing program, and what we found is as the kids got older, they started to want to downhill ski instead of cross-country ski. So we thought adding rifles would keep them into the sport. Falcon Lake has a 20-lane biathlon range, so we took everybody in the cars down the highway and we tried biathlon at Falcon. That was probably about 2014 was my first try a biathlon race. I didn't know how to skate ski. I was the only person who did the race on my classic skis, but it was fun, so I figured I'd stick with it. I think Kenora punches above its weight in many of the activities we do. I'm involved with Nordic skiing at Mount Evergreen, with the Nordic Trail development, the rowing club. We've hosted Canada Summer Games there. We've just built a 9-lane biathlon range here out at the Lake of the Woods Gun Club. I think that in our community, we have a lot of people who are interested in promoting sport and making sport better. We have world-class triathletes from our community. We've got Olympic swimmers from our community. We've got NHL and Olympic hockey players. We've got Michael Smith from decathlon. So we've had lots of people who have really excelled in the sporting world come out of this community. And if we keep building infrastructure like this, then we can help the next generation meet their goals. We've had 7 kids from Northwestern Ontario go to Canada Winter Games for biathlon. The 3 Lockharts are sort of a prime example, and their dad is still in the sport coaching us. So we run a very safe program here. The ratio with a young athlete is 1 coach to athlete. The athletes don't carry the rifles. The rifle stays on the mat. We teach range safety. We explain to them that this is dangerous, but they're under our direct supervision. You don't ski with a rifle on your back until you're 16 or 17. You need to have the proper firearms license to carry your rifle on your back. So we run a safe sport with a dangerous weapon, with all of the rules that we have in place to keep people safe. So we started off at the Lake of the Woods Gun Club with 3 targets set up on our pistol range that we had to move back and forth. It was an okay training venue, but it wasn't ideal. So we got a grant from the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation with financial support from Kenora Nordic and Biathlon Club and Biathlon Manitoba to build this $220,000 range. We started in the spring. We've got lights out here so that we can shoot at nighttime so that kids can come and train after school. We have 2.5 kilometers of ski trails out here so that we can really get our heart rate up before we come into the range. And we've designed the range to International Biathlon Union standards. So when I come into the range and shoot here, it's the same as if I'm at Whistler or in Canmore or in Soldiers Hollow at the Salt Lake City Olympics or at Lake Placid. It's the same design so that our athletes get to train and practice, and then they just find a new ski trail at the venue that they're racing at. Well, it's brand new. Like this is our first season doing a soft opening because everything's brand new. Behind me, we're about to build the targets over the roof over the targets so that the snow and rain doesn't go on the targets. That's the last piece of this project, and then the project's complete. We've got 6 electronic targets that came from Finland that automatically reset, so I can shoot, get up, ski away, and it's ready for me when I come back, are 3 old style targets you need to pull manually on a rope to reset it each time. You have to put 50 meters of rope out each day to the target. So there's lots of setup and tear down pieces that we've been able to simplify with the electric targets in the building of this range. We are one of the few ranges in Ontario that have targets and ski trails. The other 2 in the south don't, they're not functioning. They're using air rifles only at the moment. And in Thunder Bay, they have to drag their targets into a range and then drag their targets out and go skiing at Camview. They don't have ski trails where the targets are. So we're unique in Ontario at the moment, which is also pretty special. The Kenora Nordic and Biathlon Club is really keen on developing this sport in our community. Biathlon Manitoba, who we race with, is purchasing some laser rifles that we're hoping to take into the schools to introduce people to the sport. We have a Nordic racing program out at Mount Evergreen, and we're hoping to get more of those people to do biathlon. One of the things for young athletes to remember is if you want to make it to the Olympics, you have an opportunity to do that, but if you choose your sport wisely, your opportunity is increased. So if you choose a sport that you have to figure out how to ski fast and shoot a rifle, there's not going to be a lot of people in the country who are competing for those spots compared to making it to the Olympic hockey team or the Olympic soccer team. So success in biathlon and making it to the top world level stage is much more likely. Look at Megan Emery from Falcon Lake. You know, who would have thought that someone from Falcon Lake, Manitoba, a small hamlet, would be representing us on the national team for so many years and going to a number of Olympic Games. The 7 from Northwestern Ontario, there's 4 from Kenora who've gone to Canada Winter Games, and a guy from Red Lake and a young woman from Dryden. And we've had 3 Masters athletes raced internationally. Both Jennifer Finley and Michelle Simone have podiumed at international races. And it's great to see the warm community that we're part of in international biathlon. We've made some great friendships along the way. And we see the same people in Finland and in Austria and in Quebec City when they come to Canada. It's a tight family of Masters athletes.